This is a Polaris Magnum 325. Whenever he would start it and it would start up, he would let off the key or let off the starter switch and it would still hang a little bit. So we come in here, we check all the teeth on the flywheel, and this guy's hanging up a little bit. So we got a new one of these and a new starter. This is on the right side. You have to pull the baseboard on the right side, pull this cover off. There's no oil behind it, and we're gonna have to pull the other side off to get the starter. The left floorboard out, got the left pulley cover off. Looks like somebody kind of already broke this guy a little bit, so we're gonna have to fix that before we put it back together. But there's the starter right there. We're gonna use a wrench and get these starter bolts out, and then gonna go ahead and take the positive off the starter, and we gotta make sure and put the ground back on it. Everything will not work if you do that. So there's the two bolts for the Magnum 325 starter. Throw a new one in there. Alright, so I pulled the starter out a little bit. You can only get this gear in and out with the starter out of the way. So make sure before you put the new starter all the way in to put the new drive gear in. Look at that baby. Yeah, new. And we're gonna put some grease on these shafts, and then make sure, always put it next to the other part. Make sure the teeth, all the gears and everything are the same size and whatnot. If not, you will have problems. Alright, got the new starter in there. I went ahead and took the air box off and took off this breather just for a minute so I can get the starter in and out a lot easier. Make sure when you take the bottom bolt out of the starter, you're going to have to leave it in there and just pull it out with the starter, but make sure you put it back in there whenever. So put the bolt in the starter as you're putting it in, and then slowly thread it back on, because it's a real tight fit and you can't get once the starter's in, you can't get the bolt on there by itself. So and then everything's all new over here. Put her back together.